They keep finding new ways to play shockingly bad and try and surprise you. And as a United fan, now you're just left with just sheer emptiness. Well, actually, I say as United, that's how I feel anyway. Okay. That's how I feel. I'm just
emptiness or apathy?
Yeah,
same thing.
It's all rolled into one. Because I'm like, I can't believe we've just played like that. And Bournemouth, we've nicked. It's criminal what we've just done. But then I can believe it. I can believe that. It was so bad. So bad. I mean, again, just Bournemouth should have won by a big margin. It was reminiscent of the Brentford game, to be honest with you. Yeah. And, the penalty that we was given in the second half is extremely dubious. Robbery, really. And then we even tried to make sure we did our customary full collapse and give away a penalty right at the end as well, which, depending on which way you're looking at it, could have been probably a pen.
And that felt expected as well. And they were fuming about that Bournemouth after the game.
Yeah, rightly so, because it is one of those. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
I tell you what, looking at that, it's on the line, is it not?
Yeah, it carries on into the box.
Carries on into the box. I thought that's the exactly.
I think they made a point actually after the game that Newcastle had won a penalty in a very similar vein against them at St James's Park, and Iraola after the game was saying, "Well, why was that given? This one wasn't given." So anyway, but either way, I mean that shows how close Manchester United were. They were lucky to get a point.
Lucky to get a point. Should have lost, mate. Justin Clive. I thought that was Patrick Kluivert. I thought it was his dad. I thought it was prime 90. He was destroying us. Dominic Solanke. He's looking like a summer target. I'm saying Ineos, go and buy him.
He's had an unbelievable season. Unbelievable season.
It was ridiculous how bad Man United was.
They were very, very poor as well. Do you know as well? What's strange though is that this weekend you got the semi-final against Coventry, which you are expected to win. Then I think you play, is it Burnley at home? And then you play Sheffield United at home. Yeah. So within 3 games, your mood could be completely different. Let's be honest. Seriously, they could win all 3 of those games. They could
they should.
In with a shout of finishing potentially maybe 5th. And I say that because when you look at Spurs fixtures, they're quite difficult.
In the next 3 games, they're probably not going to pick up much points.
No, they're not.
I'll be honest with you, I've given up with this bit. This bit of doing... It's almost like being on a diet and doing calorie counting. It's point count. It's going... I've done it all season, mate. I've done it all season. I've gone... I tell you what. We're 6 points off that. So when they lose to them and then we beat these, that means we're going to be ahead of this team. Then we're going to... No.
Yeah.
And now,
what's let you down more?
I'm looking down. Mate, we're going to... There is a serious chance that the team that we have laughed at all year for being mid-table, page 2, Chelsea, can finish above Man United. There is a chance that Man United can have their worst ever Premier League finish. So I've stopped looking up a long time ago. It's all about looking down.
If Manchester United do go on to beat Coventry and they do actually, by some sort of miracle, go on to win the FA Cup as well, it's not completely out of the realms of possibility. It's not.
No.
Because Chelsea might beat Manchester City.
Yeah.
And then you won't have to play them in the final.
Yeah. Or we beat Man City in the final, mate.
Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, dream on.
Yeah.
But if that happens and they win the FA Cup, but they do have that lowest finish ever, it'd be below 7th, wouldn't it? Because I think they came 7th in the David Moyes season.
Yeah. That's 6th. I think 6th was the 7th. Okay, yeah. So
either way, lower than 7th.
Yeah.
If that happens, is it untenable for Erik ten Hag to continue as manager, even if he's won a trophy, a big trophy as well for FA Cup?
Could be Van Gaal, mate.
Do you think?
It could get Van Gaal, yeah.
Do you think he should get Van Gaal?
I'm still really torn because...
Are you really still torn about it?
And the only way I'm... the thing I'm torn about is that Man United as we know it is changing. Like completely. Like how they buy the players, how they sell the players, the whole strategy at the football club. There are going to be competent, really, really competent people in Dan Ashworth, as you know. Because you've got him cutting hedges. He's still coming. Like, we've met with Amanda, mate. Like, he's on
over the garden fence.
Over the garden fence, yeah. So he's going to be there. Jason Wilcox is going to be there. Like, it's Avengers assembled to how they, move forward. So do you say, well, Erik ten Hag's had one good season, which he did the first season, one bad one. It's a new look Man United. It's different to the job he even signed up to under different pretenses, and say, right, let's give him another go. But then you look at the lack of like style that Man United have.
Down
If
to
it's
players
record,
that he signed.
down to some of the players that he's signed. But a lot of the players need to go. They're so bad. Like some players there that are under his stewardship. Like Onana's doing all right now. We know that Martinez is good.
Yeah.
Mason Mount's been injured.
Yeah. Well, we've got to see Onana, in action, because Manchester United have faced the most shots this season in the Premier League, more than Sheffield
Poor guy's
United.
been rained on.
Exactly.
Pepper. He's shot for pay
More
rise.
than Sheffield United. They are one of the worst Premier League teams we've ever seen, and Manchester United have still conceded more shots
And
than
that's
them.
the style.
That's the style.
And that's on the manager.
Exactly. Yeah. And also, when you talk there about, Manchester United being this new club with new people in these new place. What did you say? Avengers Assemble. I love that, by the way. But what I think is tough about keeping Erik ten Hag on in that sense is that you'll have to have the conversation where you say, yeah, Eric, so basically all those players that you signed that you had at your former clubs, they haven't really worked. So we're going to give you a lot less power and a lot less say in that. We're going to do that. Is he really going to accept that? Is it not just better to have a completely clean slate?
But I do, and that's where, when I say I'm torn, I do lean more towards that in terms of put it this way, Erik ten Hag is making it quite easy for Ineos to make that decision with what's been happening. And it isn't just him though. There's so much wrong at Man United. And Ineos know that. Jim Ratcliffe know that. You can see in his press conferences, in his interviews that he's been given, he understands exactly what the task is at Man United and the things that are wrong. It isn't just one guy. This isn't just all Erik ten Hag's fault. But Ineos would probably be looking at it like, well, it's easy to start there. We have got loads of players need to go, mate. Honestly, players who are senior players. Like, put it this way, this current crop of players, apart from a few young ones, aren't going to help bridge the gap with Liverpool, Arsenal and City. Luke Shaw's not going to do that. Rashford's not going to do that. Bruno's not going to do that. Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay, Lindelof, Casemiro, Eriksen.
Mate, you might as well just Google the squad list.
Do you know what I mean?
You might
the only players who will help with a whole new squad is Rasmus Højlund, Mainu, Garnacho. I'd keep Martinez. Dalot can stay, but really, then I need another right because Wan-Bissaka's got to go. So there's only really a core of like 5 players, and I'm like, I need a whole new team around. They don't even all need to start. Mainu does, but like, other than that, it's like it's fair game.
Yeah.
And the players that have been here for a long time and have achieved nothing. Let's be honest. Like this credit in the bank, it's invisible. There isn't.
No.
Some of them have got a Europa League. Yeah. Some of them got a Europa League. And an FA Cup.
Yeah.
So, since when at Man United did that be like, no, because I know you've been to the top and you've done it, so I'm going to keep... No, you've had a chance. You've been here many years. It's over.
Yeah. But to be fair, though, if we go back to Erik ten Hag quickly as well, because we haven't even addressed the what happened after that game where Alejandro Garnacho was he liked Mark Goldbridge's tweet, didn't he?
Yes,
about
he did,
Erik ten Hag, I think, taking him off, and he wasn't very happy about it. Does that not show to you as well that Ten Hag? I mean, that's a ridiculous situation, isn't it? That just shows such a lack of authority, surely.
It does
for the manager.
But this is what
and a lack of respect for him.
Absolutely, it does, because it shows that there still isn't 100% order in there. And one thing that Ten Hag was praised for, and this is what I do have to give him praise for, by the end of last season, every media outlet, every fan, even neutrals were saying, dealt with the Ronaldo situation. He's taken the captaincy off Harry Maguire. De Gea's moved on. He's dealt with things. You know what I mean? The way he's dealt with things. So he got massive praise for that. He helped Jadon Sancho last year, sent him away, brought him back. Then look how it ended this year. But you know, in that first season, he was praised for that. But then the culture, or the bad culture at Man United, has crept back in. Now, he's at the helm of that, so you say it shows they don't respect the manager. But let's not act like this hasn't been happening for years at Man United. This is why Ineos need to come in and start again with a blank canvas, because this has
been
been
new manager,
because this year, and a new manager, because we've had the Belfast incident with Rashford. Anthony's had off-field situations. Obviously, the situation with Greenwood, that was before. What else? There's been Harry Maguire's thing was under Ollie. This thing now with Garnacho. There's always something. There's always something. And for Garnacho, listen, for how fantastic he's been, that Bournemouth game was his 30th consecutive start.
Wow.
That should not be happening.
Wow.
So because Rashford hasn't been doing his job, and it's his 30th consecutive start, and the kids had to go to the right wing. Didn't even start off as a left wing. It's because Rashford couldn't play there.
Yeah.
Anthony, rubbish. Sancho, gone. So Garnacho's had to play a lot of games, but that doesn't excuse that. You can't... Yeah, he might have liked it by accident. You know, these kids at the minute, you know, straight on their phone straight afterwards. They're on the coach.
Do you think that's a bit of an issue? Not just at Manchester United, but kind of across football. Why do you think it's such an issue?
It's an issue because when you're young and you don't know how to deal with pressure or praise or scrutiny, you're still learning how to do it. It's a very dangerous place. This is where someone like Jude Bellingham, not every 20-year-old's a Jude Bellingham. Many aren't. And even when young players are doing really well and you've scored a great goal and you know everyone's singing your name and there's going to be amazing memes of you online that you want to get involved with, you're going to put your name in. If I'm Garnacho and I've just had a blinder and I've scored 2 goals and I've been amazing, I'm going to type in Garnacho and it's just going to fuel me like I'm on top of the world. And if you don't know how to receive that information and know how to sort of navigate through that, that can be a bad thing. And then on top of that, you're a young player and you've got inconsistency. So when you have bad moments and bad times, you then also want to find out what people are saying about you and how. And these things affect players. Absolutely. It's only the real top elite mentality players that can get through that at a young age. And, you know, Kobbie Mainoo's, you can see that he's got quite a calm, placid situation. We had to withhold Garnacho a little bit at the beginning because there's a few things around his attitude that have been well spoken about, but he's done fantastically well to iron that out. And a little bit of it's just crept in. Probably liked it by accident. I don't know. Maybe he liked it on purpose, but he unliked it very quickly. But it just shows where the game is now in terms of social media and how sort of players nowadays have it completely different to the players of the past.
Yeah, I would just absolutely love to see a Goldbridge Garnacho watch along together. I don't know if he got injured or something.
I mean, he
would do it, wouldn't he?
I mean, Garnacho's been on, streams with iShowSpeed. Like, you know, he's at his computer, he's gaming. He's a kid. Garnacho, like, this is what we forget. These are kids. So they are, when, you know, popular YouTubers like Mark Goldbridge is, you know, he's right up there. All the players are going to know who he is. I know that for a fact from being around Manchester United.
Would you do stuff with Garnacho as well?
If you wanted to, yeah.
There we go.
If the club let it,
if you're listening,
Garnacho.
I tell you what, if you are listening, just like one of Flex's tweets, and then we'll know if you're up
actually,
for it.
don't, because I don't want you lot to get in trouble. Just go to Wembley on Sunday and beat Coventry. That's all you lot have to do. Don't worry about my tweets.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.